Morning, everyone. It's nice to see a lot of people interested in a field that I'm living in. We were wondering when we sat down here how many people will pitch up. And yesterday was a surprise to see the small room quite full. I think 4 years ago when we spoke about PLM, there was probably 20 people in a room. So something is happening. So if you wonder if the revolution is real, it is. My perspective, just another disclaimer, I'm not a manufacturing company. We're focusing on design, and I will give you some insights of how our Industry 4 is impacting us as a design company. And we're a small company, about 37 people, so it's not a massive company, so SME perspective. And I hope there's a lot of entrepreneurs around here that will see that modern tools can benefit entrepreneurs and small companies equally as big companies. Okay. So, quick overview, I will tell you why product development is important, and then Industry 4, what it's all about. A disclaimer here, if you were attentive in the previous sessions yesterday and today even, a lot of what I will tell you is nothing new. You've heard it before, I will just repack it maybe and make it more visible in some senses. Making it practical, I will quickly go through 10 changes, and then I'll end up with what now. So yes, it's only by converting ideas into sellable products that we can generate income. If we're just very clever and we think we're grand, and nothing against the CSIR, but if that creativeness isn't turned over into something you can sell, it wasn't really adding value to our country. Then secondly, I'm an engineer, and building beautiful flight systems, UAVs or telescopes is my passion. But I needed to learn in my life that products can be intangible as well. An app is also a very valuable asset. And I'm going to talk to that. If you're in a situation where you're not developing hardware, this is also applicable to you. It's not just cross-cutting into things you can touch, it's cross-cutting to intangible items as well. Okay, so you've seen this, I think, a lot of times today, but for me, what's interesting, if you look at the previous revolutions, it took quite a long while from one era to the next, and 100 years or so. And the first steam machines made it possible for people to really make the hard work easier. And then electrical machines and automation was really a big spin. And then round about when, just before my birth, the digital age starts. And computers, it was first mainframes and then PCs, distributed computing power, became the big thing, and now it's something in between. There's distributed knowledge and there's mainframes. And now it's bidirectional. The machines are talking back, and they want to listen to us, and they give feedback to their parents who manufacture them. So I think that's a disruptive part. It's really going quickly, and it's cross-cutting all aspects of our lives. To make it a little bit practical, all of us in this room probably have a smartphone. And it was mentioned, John-Mark also referred to it just now before the session. And it's only 10 years. The iPhone is only 10 years old. And I wonder if there's a person on this globe, or at least the top 70% who doesn't know what it is and who wants one. So it was a massive growth in a very short time. That data it shows that it was a very non-linear growth and unexpected. If we think of manufacturing, we think of more typical approaches of hardware, that we think of cars, something that we think is the underpinning our economy. And yes, it is important, but that only grew with 31% in the same kind of period. So it's a big difference. Right? 1,125% versus about 31. It's impressive, but the question we must ask ourselves, is it significant? Okay. And I've quickly just estimated, so don't quote that in a financial paper, please. I'm not a financial going into that sector, but just estimate values. And so the car sales was 1.5 trillion about, and in the same era, smartphones about 300 billion. So there's a 5 times bigger turnover in cars. So then you say, okay, it's not insignificant, and that's just one item. It's just a smartphone, where a car is a massive industry. But what you shouldn't forget is, on the App Store, there's just iPhone App Store, there's 2.2 million apps that you can buy. And 2016, that was $28 billion. And the next layer of importance from that number, 70% of that money doesn't go to Apple, it goes to people who've generated those apps, and they are all over the world. So there was a system created that spread wealth. And on the next level, that app creates wealth again for its owner. If it's a map and there's advertising, you see it. And so significant wealth is created on something that might not be that significant. So to continue, my talk is not about mobile phones and cars. I just want to bring back home an idea. If you think 10 years ago when Nokia started, you were quite amazed. There's a phone and there's all your contacts on it. You don't need to look in a little book. And now a smartphone is so in our lives that you can't even compare the two, but except the basic phone capability. And my take on it, as robots is now helping us in manufacturing plants, robots will be that incremental better in a short term to come. And there was mentioned they will be safer, that they will interact with humans. So I think it's a reality and it's happening, and we need to prepare for that. Then my first important observation, why did cell phones grow so quickly? Because you received it free, or you thought you did. You signed a contract and suddenly you have a smartphone. And if you think about it, maybe you shouldn't have spent that money. So you spurred on growth by just signing an easy-to-accept contract. And in Industry 4, that's the first important thing that I think is important for us to grasp. The underlying business models are changing. We can't just approach business in a normal way, and that's one of the big drivers of Industry 4. Business models are changing, and we need to prepare for that and understand it. Then, also importantly, is requirements. We're living in an era where it would be difficult to predict what our clients want and they will need. So 3 years from now, what's the next big thing? We don't know. And if you don't start production before that, you'll miss the boat. So for me, another observation of how Industry 4 will change what we do on a day-to-day basis is that requirements gathering or defining requirements for a new product, you will need specialist advice. You can't just assume your current team of engineers will have all the knowledge. And you will likely need to partner with someone, and you need to get your organization to grow in this field. So you'll need to excite them or tell your people to go onto blogs of technology, TechCrunch, and these other ones that you can read. What's happening in the world out there? Just living in your cocoon you won't be able to create the new products that will be needed by the people out there. My next observation is that clients want things, we've said instead of mass production, it will be mass customization. And there's an era that you will go to a sports shop and they will print your bicycle helmet. They will print your shoes. Stratasys already, it's not truly functional yet, but the J750 machine can print in 300, I think, in 60,000 colors. And rubber materials, hard materials, so you can print products on the fly. So the same is for medical. It's growing to that while you're in operation theater, after an accident, they will scan your skull and they can print in real time a titanium implant. And also, it will grow into other sectors as well, even art. You can create something and email that file and create art locally. So the next observation, I think just in time will be replaced by just now. Good. Then another observation is that we've said that data is becoming as precious as oil. That's the next commodity. And we as engineers normally think Excel is the start and end all and be all of everything, and we can do anything in Excel, but we won't be able to. There's massive amounts of data being generated. And in a lot of cases currently, they don't know what to do with it. The medical industry is sequencing DNA left, right, and center, but they haven't even processed it all. So we need our employees or our designers to understand what can be gathered from data and what they want to gather. And that's a new set of skills that your team will need to learn. So you'll need probably partners at the beginning and upscale your team. Then a very important aspect. We're very far away from the rest of Europe and Asia and Africa. But in the new revolution, we are very much part of the world. Data doesn't know about borders. You can export data anywhere, and it makes business very easy. So there's an opportunity for you to go and seek solutions in the whole world, and you can be the solution to the whole world. So it's important to grasp that. It's obviously difficult to get a footprint internationally, but I think this will change rapidly. When you buy an app on an app store, you don't even know where the developer is. And I think in the same sense, products can grow into that domain as well. If there's product-focused, let's call it app stores or buy stores, that's rapidly made on site, you don't know the developers may be sitting in wilderness and you're buying it in Tel Aviv or somewhere. However, there's a warning to this. To talk to the rest of the world, you need the right tools. You can't just go in and talk a language they don't understand. So from an SME perspective, or even a company perspective, you will need to prepare to invest in tools and capability. You need to prepare to teach your people how to join this brave new world out there. It won't come just, you can't just expect your engineers and your team to quickly understand how to do this. So we're currently using Teamcenter to merge all our data and to work in not over the wall environment, but inside. And for us as a SME, this was interesting. I've started with Teamcenter when my company was 2 people just in size. We're now 37. And we have clients now, if you don't have this as a tool, they're not interested to work with you because they ask you, what is your PLM system? You say Teamcenter. They say, thank you, we also use Teamcenter. So after you create a data pack, we can send them the complete data pack and they know they've got everything in it. So the next observation, and that's kind of already collecting a lot of what I've just said, is that change is difficult. But I will tell you that if you don't embrace change, you will fail. Change will need to be your default setting. And it's a brave world out there, and some of us will need to take a leap of faith. But if you don't, I think you will sit in a pond that will dry out. Then, this is a bit unclear, I apologize. The World Economic Forum, a lot of people mentioned this before, and for me what was important from this data that they've shared is South Africa is currently in a stage in our activities where it's efficiency driven. And a lot of us grew up in an environment where they said if you work harder, you'll make it, just work harder. And the sad part of this is that in Industry 4, in the modern manufacturing era we're going into, that won't cut it. You will still not, you can't work that hard, you won't keep up. You need to innovate, you need to work smarter. And to go from that era of efficiency-driven economy to an innovation-driven economy, it's going to take some doing to do, and that's a challenge ahead. But that's an observation that I've noticed, and if you don't do that, you'll be left alone. Then also from this World Economic Forum, some observations. It's interesting, even if we think of South Africa an economy, then every people will just look away and you feel almost ashamed of what's going on. But our financial sector is ranked very well. All other aspects of our economy is doing bad, but financially we're doing really well. So I'm not in the financial sector, but if there's anybody here, I think that our biggest opportunity to make a real impact in Industry 4 is to leverage our sound financial systems and create applications there that the rest of the world can plug into. You've got a very good name, our financial market, so please use it and go out there. Then also from this was for me a strange observation since I'm an engineer that we are ranked very low. I mean, this is 112 out of 138, and that's 112 is to the back side, it's not to the front. We don't have enough engineers and scientists in South Africa. So we will need to focus to train them, and a lot of people have said that over the past 2 days. So it's not just a statement, it's a real need. We'll need to train more engineers, or we're going to miss this boat. And scientists. Just if somebody should worry, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and maths. I strongly believe art is a significant part of great engineering. Without creating or getting artistic elements into a design, you won't have a captive audience. Just a quick recap to where there we said we need business strategists that's focused on Industry 4. You need to develop your specifications with insight. You will just in time replace with just now. Data measurement and analytics will become a major part of your design process as well. You need to plan for that. There's no, digital manufacturing doesn't know about borders, and that's a great opportunity for us since we're far away. We have to invest. This won't come just for free. You have to embrace change. and innovation is needed. We have a very strong financial sector. I think we should leverage that. And we need to train more scientists and engineers. In saying this, help is needed. And I'm excited that CSIR has started on this process because SMEs on their own will need guidance. We've been stuck in our way, and I think that following trend that we've seen earlier today, and maybe some legacy that we were great in the past, won't just make it. We'll need guidance and help to implement Industry 4. And whereas traditional research and strategic focus team and incremental development and even centers of excellence are needed to create raw technology, unfortunately they won't help industry to manufacture parts. And we need innovative industrial foundation that links all the industries together. We must work as one. We must link SMEs into the system, else just the big verticals are not going to drive our job creation. We must link globally, and we must talk the language and the systems that's spoken globally. We must focus innovation on using industry and technology as a foundation, and we must train people in modern production techniques. It won't just happen by itself. So CSIR has already started this process, and I'm glad about it, but I think it needs to be improved. Just one isolated hub of excellence, and I'll show you how, it's really not going to make it. It's like just having one beer for a whole braai. Everybody's going to look at it and nobody's going to really want to drink it because we really need to spread this. And if the CSIR create hubs in Cape Town and Natal and even more, and even at universities, show people how to access this new era. And we need to do it quickly. So it's far above my pay grade to know where we're going to get the money for this, but I'm telling you, if we don't, we're going to have troubles. And it's vague for a reason. We're still busy with this. We're currently helping a client to develop from his current business canvas how he's operating in a production environment to go in the Industry 4 environment. And all I want to show you in this slide is all the greenish blocks on the right-hand side is what's affected by Industry 4 in their operational environment. So you need someone, if you're a company, to come and help you and say, in this new era, I'm going to do business. You need to plan to implement this. And another comment, you need to start. Even if you start very small, but just start walking. Otherwise, you'll never end up running. And that's it. Thank you.